Hello again, folks. Hi, lads. You all right?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, evening.
Evening. Wasn't the best of cars today out of the actual festival, was it? To be honest.
No, a bit lackluster today, wasn't it? Really, some of the races, some good races, some good finishes, but a lot of class horses didn't show, I suppose you could say. But then on the flip side of that, a lot of those did show their potential. So yeah, the likes of English Knight and stuff like that was a bit of a shame. English King, sorry, was a bit of a shame. But that race itself was a good race. But yeah, other than that, wasn't much to go on, was there?
Yeah, it wasn't the most exciting of all the days, was it? Let's be honest.
No, not today.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move swiftly on then. We'll bring you a couple of selections again. We'll have another stab tomorrow, lads. Jamie, you can start us off tonight.
Okay then. Okay. Evening, lads. My first selection for the 245 at Goodwood, the Unibet Golden Mile handicap, and I've gone for Sir Basker at 6-1 each way. Comes there in really good form. He's twice the winner at 1 mile. He was the second last time out at Newmarket in the Banbury Cup at 7 furlongs. So up in trip again. So that'll be a plus. And the drawing ground will be a big positive as well. And plus, he should be in the mix there, and hopefully, the ground might suit as well. So that's my selection for that race, Sir Basker. On my second selection is the sprint 5 furlongs, King George Stakes, Group 2, and that's BATTASH, top sprinter, near unbeatable when he was on his game. He's a winner of the King George for the last 3 years, so he'll be hard for beating if he's really on top form with for Charlie Hills, and that'll be a win bet for me for BATTASH, and he's at 1-3. Those are my two selections.
Do you think he's answered that tag of the no-show type thing? Do you think he sort of put that to bed now?
I think he's a no-show for York. Even though I think he has won once before. I think, but he's done really well with Ascot and with Goodwood. So he's really up his game. And I think Goodwood really suits him as well with the Dan Hill.
Just something that's always been labelled at him for a while, isn't it? That's all. So.
Oh yeah. But now he's come. I think he's come of a bit of an age now. I think. When he was a bit of a youngster, he started to be a little bit of a, some courses he liked and some courses he never liked.
A little bit temperamental,
Yeah. But no, the Goodwood track will definitely suit him, and the Dan Hill 5 furlong at Goodwood would suit him as well. So I think it'll be winner number 4 for the King George.
Yeah, you think if he's A1, he brings his A1 game. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, if he brings that form like he did at the Royal meeting in Ascot, then it'll be very, very hard to beat.
Okay, Matt, fair enough. Okay, then Sean, we'll let you follow on again tonight.
Yeah, no worries. Again, I agree with Jamie. Sir Basker for me, obviously. As you're aware, lads, my niece works for the yard. They were very impressed, obviously, with his Royal Ascot win over the mile trip.
Yeah.
Took a chance on dropping him back over to 7 furlong at Newmarket. And to be fair, Rex stayed on like an absolute train. And I think only lost a neck or a head, something very short. But showed that potential of the mile is probably where they should be aiming at. Yeah. I mean, you add that extra furlong on, and he wins that race. Against the Jim Crowley man, I believe it was.
It's got to be a plus, isn't it? Back to the mile, got to be, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a smart move. And to be honest with you, I find we talk about this Goodwood track being the hard luck stories, and we've seen a couple of them, or supposedly a couple of them this week. As long as Sir Basker can stay out of trouble, and you've got the right man on board in Murphy. So yeah, again, the yard are very keen on it. They're very happy with how it's progressed. So for me, Sir Basker in the 245, I believe it is.
Okay, mate. You have a one?
Second one, 345. I've gone for Desert Encounter. I know this is one I followed for a while. I believe won this race last year against likes of Mirage Dancer and people like that. Again, it's not the overly strongest of fields. Obviously, you've got the Mark Johnson communique in there, which we know what a Mark Johnson type is always like. So we fully expect that to make the running and be very difficult to reel in. But like I say, Jim Crowley, a man on form, Desert Encounter, been there, done it. Certainly one of the, if not the better horse in the race, I suppose. Form's taken a dip, very sketchy form. Not won for a while. I think the last time he probably did win was this race last year, or at least this meet last year. But they're primed for it. You know, it's one of those horses where it's always ready for a certain race. And this to me feels like that's what they aim it at, going off last year. So yeah, 2:45 Sabuska, 3:45 Desert Encounter for me.
Okay, Mark. Well, we won't leave you to last. I'll go last this time. So who have you got there, Mark?
You're so kind, Glenn. Yesterday I went for the Tom Marcan double. Tomorrow I'm going for the Jim Crowley double. I'm going for a very tricky first opening race in the 110, 1 mile 3 furlong handicap flat. I'm going for, correct me with the pronunciation, but is it Al Quay, 2-1 favourite? I'm sure
it sounds about right, mate. To be honest, that's what I probably would have gone with.
Listen, it's not a bad effort, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Look, this was a very impressive horse that won last time at Newmarket, pulling away from the rest of the field, finishing 8 lengths ahead of Mumba, who also runs in the same race at a current price of 8-1. Testing conditions tomorrow, as the ground is going to be potentially drying up with the hot weather. But it does give William Haggis's improving colt the opportunity to land yet another win, current price at 2-1. So that's my first selection in the 110. Thank you, Jamie, but I can't really say much about my next selection. But I went for the best stayer in the world a few days ago. I'm now going for what I believe is the best sprinter in the world in BATTASH in the 3:15. It didn't really need to show that much potential in its reappearance at Royal Ascot. I think it was far too good for its rivals, which included Liberty Beach, which is also running in this race. You can also have Dubai Station for Tom Marcans, Raya for William Buick, or if you want a really high odds horse, you can go for Ornate, ridden by Asheen Murphy. The ground is drying, which is not really going to be in his favour, but I can't really see it being too much of a problem. Biggest fear I do have is a horse called Ken Colt at 20-1, but as Jamie reiterated, it had form at Goodwood on the 2nd of August last year, so it brings the form there. And I can't really see it being beaten, in my honest opinion. You can get 3-1 for this fancy little double, and that's what I'm going to be having a dab at. And to go for yet another King George Stakes. 110 Al Quay, 3:15 BATTASH, Jim Crowley double.
Okie dokie, fair enough. Right, well, I'm going for a Crowley ride as well, I believe. If your screen loads, yes. I'm going for Calusi in the 2:15. It's not the strongest of races by the looks of it. It's not the biggest of fields. It's only about 4 or 5 runners. But, you know, he showed good promise. He won a 22-runner race handicap at Ascot quite easily. So, yeah, it's, you know, not one that you can really pick out too much. A couple of runs, you know, it's a couple of first and a second. But he looks to be going in the right direction. Jim Crowley, again, as we all know, you know, more than reliable enough jockey. Had some decent winners himself, and Roger Varian. So that one was sort of just a bit of a, you know, it just looks like he's, you know, he should have a very good chance. It's only a small field, and he's moving in the right direction. So I could possibly see another win there for him. And then my second is also Sabuska. I again, Ocean Murphy's books, up in it, you know, back up to the mile, as Sean was saying. He's up another £5, so he's on a career high mark, but it's definitely a plus back to that 1 mile. I backed him at that Ascot win, and he has won at Goodwood, so he has won on the course, but that was over 7 furlongs, I think. So yeah, just reiterating what the boys are saying, really. That's going to be my choice, my second choice.
It was nearly a full house.
Yeah, not quite, not quite. Right, so obviously there you go. That's a couple of choices each. Any folks want to add anything before we go?
Yeah, just quickly, following on obviously from Aramon, yeah, which was discussed yesterday, goes and bolts up this evening at 7 onwards. Just looking at Galway again, 5:45 tomorrow. Fan de Blues for Mullins, Paul Townend. Now that just missed the cut for the Galway, as in the play.
Oh, okay.
The Galway hurdle goes in at the moment at 9-2. Obviously, it just missed the cut on the reserve. Looks like a very good horse. Another French import for Mullins. Again, inconsistent, but tomorrow, if it's missed the cut on the plate, it's obviously, there's something about this horse. So yeah, I quite like the look of that. Two-tone green as well. So yeah, interesting one over there. 5:45. Fan de Blue.
Okay. Jamie, did you want to give us a little mention?
Yeah, I had Oleg yesterday who ran really well, and today I had Jen's boy ran at Southall in the first race. His debut over fences, 3 miles. He done really well. I watched the whole race. He jumps very well. He had a couple of novice mistakes. I think Nico gave him some, give him a nice ride, give him a bit of confidence. He got beat by Sam Twist, and he was quite lucky on the last fence because he'd done a rodeo jump and he almost come out of the saddle. So, Jen's boy. Sorry.
Was that the one that Sam went?
Can I just quickly stop you all there a second? Go on, Townend. Just about to win on Jon Snow.
Hey,
lovely jubbly. I don't know nothing about horses, folks, but I can pick a few jumps.
Sorry,
carry on.
Back to the Jen's boy race. Was that with you mentioned Sam Twiston Davis, man? Was that the one that went through the fence as opposed to over?
Yes.
I see that. I mean, that took some playing on as well, didn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, I've shared the actual last bit of the race with the races and that. He jumped really well. Where he's going to have a bit of a break now because he's not, he doesn't like very quick sessions on races, so he's going to have a little bit of a break. They're going to look. He might go up a couple of pounds, so they say. So he might go up in class again, or he might stay in a class 4 race. Yeah, he's doing. I mean, that was his first debut. I was really, really happy, and then most of the owners who was watching, they were really happy and that. So that was really, impressive jumping. Some of them. We did find out that he was schooling with Verdana Blue a couple of days ago.
Oh, right.
And apparently Verdana Blue just absolutely done a bit of turbo boost on some of the schooling. So Verdana Blue is looks like going to be really impressive over hurdles this year. We're really, really happy. So I'm just looking forward to his next race, and 3 miles is his trip. So looks like he won't go down a trip. He'll stay because he was literally carrying on and trying to chase Sam Twiston Davis down in the last half a third of the end of the race. So it'll be interesting. So
you're right.
So it'll be interesting. So it would be good. Yeah, see how he goes on the next one.
Cool.
All right. Well done for Jen's boy, Jamie. That's a couple of selections for tomorrow. Let's hope we can find some winners tomorrow, then, boys.
Fingers crossed.
Please.
Back to winning ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope BATTASH turns up and does the biz as well. So,
indeed.
All right, guys. We'll have a chat tomorrow, no doubt. All right.
No worries. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.